Going on, y'all? Hope everyone's having a nice day. I'm having a wonderful day. Got to see my father today, had a nice lunch with him. Now I'm about to take the lady out, have a nice meal with her. Before I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about Kratom. I've been talking about it lately. It's something that I've got something to say about, so I'm going to talk more about it. Got an email from a nice lady named Shannon. She says, "Hey, I just watched your video on Kratom and sleep just now. I also use Happy Hippo herbals as my vendor, and as you all know, when I buy my Kratom, I buy it from happyhippoherbals.com. No, they're not paying me, but they do good work. They have good quality Kratom, good price. They ship in a timely manner. They do good work, so I'll say they do good work. What strain do you use? Typically, in about how many grams?" She says, "I will use a slow strain for pain, sometimes works, and will use it with grapefruit juice to make it work quicker and better." In other words, to potentiate the drug, to increase its potential for having the desired effect. She says, "I use a fast strain during the day, typically Hyper Hippo, which I also use, Shannon, but I haven't been feeling any energy with it." And Shannon, the reason you haven't been feeling any energy with it is because just like any other drug, and yes, Kratom is a drug, it alters your state of being. If you use it too much or too often, it loses its desired effect, and or you need more and more of the drug to get the desired effect, hence opiate overdoses, people dying, their heart shutting down and lungs stopping to work because they take too much to get high and then they just fucking die. And I'll talk a little bit about the Kratom overdoses here in a second. What strain works best for you and how many grams? Do you just dose once a day or more? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so less than 10 minutes ago, I just dropped some top shelf Bali. And Bali Kratom, B-A-L-I, is described as the most well-rounded, moderate type of, like, a little bit fast, a little bit slow type of Kratom. It's got a classic opiate effect. It's commonly described as having a classic opiate effect. And I find that that's true. I get a nice little buzzing in my body, got elevated sense of euphoria. I would say that there's an analgesic effect to it, which means it kills physical pain. And I would say that it makes me more engaged with what I'm doing. Like, I'm a little bit more sociable, I'm a little bit more outgoing, I'm a little bit more euphoric. I feel good. I feel like I always want to feel, but you can't possibly feel that good 24/7. That's just not how it works. And I took a tablespoon. Now I don't have a scale. I don't have a scale. And now I know if I've looked up the conversion from tablespoon to grams, and it says 1 tablespoon is 14 grams. Well, I beg to differ, because I know for a fact that 28 grams is 1 ounce, and I've gotten an ounce bag before, and I've used a tablespoon, and I had to use plenty of tablespoons to use the whole bag. So I'm not really sure how that conversion works, but I take a tablespoon, I level it off, I toss and wash, I throw it in the back of my mouth. It tastes like fucking ass, but I swish it around and I get it down as soon as possible. It kicks in for me, I'd say anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, typically about 30 minutes. I start to feel it, and it lasts for several hours. Now, she talked about taking it with grapefruit juice to potentiate Kratom. Anytime you're going to potentiate a drug, that means you're going to enhance its effects. Like, when I was in high school, I had friends that used to take mushrooms, and they said that if you drank orange juice, again, this is fucking total bro science, that if you took orange juice with your mushrooms, that it would potentiate it, making you trip at least, harder or at least longer. Is that true? I don't know. I've taken mushrooms, but not with orange juice. What strains do I like to use? I've been experimenting with it for a while, and when I first started using Kratom on a regular basis, I actually used the capsules from kratomcaps.com, and I always got a mixture of the white, the green, and the red. And the red veins typically are slower strains. The green and white tend to be a little more stimulating, a little more fast, you know. And I always found that I got more out of the faster strains. But I also noticed that since I've been taking the actual powder and not the capsules, that it actually works way fucking better. Now, maybe the quality of Kratom that I was using from that particular vendor, Kratom Caps, wasn't that good, but when I used from purekratom.com or happyhippoherbals.com, I notice that when I take just the powder and do the toss and wash method, I actually can say I kind of get a little high with it. Like I actually feel like that opiate, like that euphoria, that warm fuzzy feeling that the opiates give you, where you want to talk to everybody and you want to fucking make a business deal and shit. But she asked me what types that I use, and from Happy Hippo Herbals, I prefer the Hyper Hippo. I prefer the Top Shelf Bali. I prefer Sky Hippo, which is actually a very slow strain. And I only buy the best kratom because I feel like if I'm going to be putting something in my body on a regular basis, like even beer, and I am definitely a beer drinker, I buy good beer. I used to buy Yingling and fucking Bud Light, not even Bud Light, but I used to buy like Yingling and like when I was kind of poor, I bought even stuff like Heineken and just stuff that was just like in cans and all that crap. But now when I drink beer, I drink top shelf quality beer, because if I'm putting something in my body on a regular basis, I want it to be good shit. Same with my kratom. I buy the best quality kratom that I can get my hands on, and I usually buy it by the ounce. Now, I talked about overdosing on kratom, and there's a bit of controversy around kratom. Oh my god, don't take it because kids died from it. Well, check this out. If you buy kratom at a fucking Exxon station or any shitty fucking gas station where you could buy Twizzlers and Slim Jims, chances are that's not pure kratom. That's not quality shit. Second of all, a lot of times when these kids, and I've even read this myself, when they did the toxicology reports of these kids dying on kratom, they weren't just using kratom, they were drinking, they were using other drugs like pills and opiates and benzos, doing cocaine as well. And they might have been driving a car and been all fucked up. I don't recommend you get high on kratom and go driving around. I do not suggest that shit. Another little fun fact about kratom is that one of the reasons that it's illegal, is not only have people overdose from it, namely from using very poor quality kratom that's most likely cut with other synthetic chemicals that I don't even know what they are, but they might be toxic at high doses. One of the big reasons that it's illegal is one of the same reasons that I believe marijuana is so illegal. Not because it's unhealthy for you, but because it's competition. It's competition for international drug trade like heroin, opium, whatever else. And Thailand has illegalized kratom, and this was decades ago. And there's a guy that I like to listen to, his name is Hamilton Morris. He's from Vice, actually. A lot of you probably know who I'm talking about. He was on the Joe Rogan show, and he was talking about kratom in Thailand, about how it's grown there for who knows how long, maybe thousands of years. It's native there. A lot of the locals use it, especially in the small farming towns where they do a lot of manual labor. And manual labor kind of sucks, but if you got a little buzz going on, it ain't so bad. So what happened was the Thai government back in, I think, the 70s or 80s was involved in the international opium trade, because they're in the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia. And they realized that people were quitting heroin and they were quitting using these opioids because kratom was a safer alternative and actually helped people to get off these dangerous, addictive, hardcore drugs like heroin and opium. So they illegalized it so people would have no choice but to use their heroin, to use their opium. Makes sense, right? Fun little fact about it. You know, and as far as ways to potentiate the effects of kratom, I would say that if you do it first thing in the morning, like on a fully empty stomach, when your stomach's completely digested every little particle, that is nice. You will definitely get a great effect from that. If you take it on a full stomach or with food, I suggest you do it with a low carb meal. So for example, like sometimes I'll eat a handful of almonds, half an avocado. It's just high fat, some protein, some fiber. I throw back some kratom with it, and it goes through fast. But if you have a big heavy meal with the kratom, like with potatoes and bread and stuff like that, heavy foods, it takes a lot longer to kick in, but some people say that the effects last longer. I can't say I've noticed that the effects last longer. I think the best way for me to take kratom is on an empty stomach or with a very light meal. Personally. I have made the tea before. I think the way to get the best effects is just to throw the powder in your mouth, take some fruit juice so you can kind of mask that earthy, nasty fucking dirt flavor. And it does taste like shit, I'll be honest. Have I overdosed on Kratom? Yes, I have. It was actually like a few weeks ago. And the cool thing about the Kratom overdose is that unlike heroin, your heart and lungs won't stop working. All that happens is you get a sense of what's called dysphoria. So rather than euphoria where you're happy and you're engaged and everything's awesome, you have dysphoria where everything's just kind of like, I'm not interested in what I'm doing. I want this feeling to go away. I don't feel really happy. I just felt kind of like, not even sad, just apathetic, and like I just wanted to like push the off button and just like be asleep or just feel even normal. And I threw up. I threw it back up. I felt nauseous and I couldn't really seem to hold down food. So obviously I don't do that anymore because now I know what doses are right for me. Might have to play around with the doses. Obviously start very low. Start with just a few grams. And if you have a scale, then obviously use a scale. I don't have one, so I just do the eye test and I can eyeball how much is good for me. I took it about, I want to say 15 to maybe 20 minutes ago. I think I can start to feel it kind of kicking in now, and it feels good. Actually, I'm about to go out with my lady, have a nice meal. I appreciate y'all watching my shit. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I've been doing this for like 3.5 years now, man, and I've been talking about all kinds of shit for a long time now, and the journey will start. And like I said in, I think my last video, about 4 weeks out from Mexico, y'all. So stick with me. We're going to be doing a road trip down there. I'm going to be in Mexico for a long time, man, and I'm even thinking about taking some Kratom with me, because when I get my hand surgery, as you see my hand's broken, I need to get surgery on it in Mexico City. I know that they're going to offer me opiates, and I used to abuse them heavily, on and off for a couple years actually, and I don't ever want to. I can't do that again, especially in a place like Mexico. No. And I think I might take some with me to help with the pain after the surgery. So we'll see what happens with that. It's not illegal from what I understand there, but we'll see what happens, man. Anyways, you guys have any other video questions? You want me to talk about something, talk some shit, answer an email? Hey man, nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches. Email me, guys. That'll be in the description box below. Also, you guys can like and share my shit on Facebook. Facebook.com/nojokehour. Peace.